All right, guys, welcome back to another Barnzy bowling video. Today we're doing a tips and tricks two-handed video. We're just kind of gonna get into it. If you guys have any questions, comments, make sure to reach out to me on Instagram. I'll try and answer them all. And yeah, let's start. All right, we're gonna start with what I feel is probably the most important part of two-handed setup. All right. So we got to start with holding the ball properly. See, a lot of people put their hand in the ball and one finger's not as deep as the other, and you got one finger over here, you're holding it sideways and you're cocking it, or you're over here, and that's fine, right? What works for you works for you. What I feel is the best for your ball roll, for doing layouts, for all of this, is putting your hand straight in the ball, making sure they come straight down, fingers equal depth. Equal depth, whether it's fingertip or the actual depth. But we have to make sure they are equal depth and they're sitting in the ball properly. What happens is when you go over here and your hand comes out of it sideways, you end up having to back out of it, or you get the weird over the top move. We just got to make sure we're hands in a proper spot so we can stay underneath the ball. Make sense? Yeah, so another setup thing is like where you hold the ball. You don't really want to hold it like down here or way up here. Just kind of find a nice, comfortable, relaxed position. You want to be able to relax this shoulder, so being able to like set it against your body or get your hand in a relaxed spot, I think really helps. Yeah, so you want to find a relaxed spot where the shoulder can relax, and you want to find a comfortable spot for this hand. A lot of people start with it preset, right? Like you can preset it over there. I start with it a little more natural over here, and then as I go, my hand rotates over. So it rotates over. That way I have a lot of control over the ball. A lot of times you see some two-handers that struggle with rev rate is their hands are actually really far apart, causing you to almost push the ball instead of, yeah, like karate, causing you to push the ball instead of keeping it tight, and then you can actually use all that leverage of your hand being underneath the ball. All right, so I start a little taller and then I dive at it a little more than most two-handers. Like Simo almost gets here really early and he stays there. You watch his spine tilt. His spine tilt is really consistent throughout his approach. This is the biggest thing with two-handers, and I think it's kind of a theory that Mark Baker has, is you want to make sure your spine tilt stays the same throughout your approach, or at least is consistent. Because if this gets forward, then this hits around it, or if you get back, this has to go underneath, and then it creates a lot of problems. We got to make sure this stays consistent. It's my biggest problem as well. I fight it all the time. I get a little forward. Sometimes I athlete it enough to save it, but we got to make sure that this is consistent. So then we have some other keys that I like to talk about. So that's kind of like setup keys. While actually bowling, these are some of the keys I focus on. You know, I'm focusing on push away at my target, if that makes sense. So like if I'm setting up, I'm going right at my target. I'm focusing on keeping my head as still as possible. This is the biggest thing, as you see a lot of two-handers that try and throw it hard. So they're like, a lot of side-to-side movement. A little bit of up and down movement is fine. Side-to-side is what creates the left to right miss. Up and down, I mean, it still creates a little miss, but it's not as big as the side-to-side with your head movement. It's pretty hard to throw it if your head's going like this. What else, Roddy? Footwork. Footwork, let's talk some footwork. All right, we're gonna talk how to create ball speed as a two-hander, okay? It's a big, big thing that I get a lot of questions on. And a lot of it comes from one step, okay? It's all in this push step. You gotta be able to, nice and long. If you watch all the two-handers that throw it hard, their push steps are all massive. They're all lunging. They're throwing it and they're lunging. If you watch the two-handers throw it slow, you'll see that their right foot's not engaged. It's kind of just there. And they're just kind of using, it kind of just like slides out of the way. Versus me, I mean, my right foot hurts at the end of the day because I'm pushing so hard. Like it's a power step. Have you ever played baseball? Not that most bowlers have played baseball, but you know, they push from that step. It's kind of a similar thing in bowling with two-handed. You really want to use that step to create all your power. And the rest of it is just getting your timing matched up so you can create that speed, and then you can manipulate that speed, if that makes sense. All right, we're kind of going to give a little walkthrough. Also, first couple steps, you really want to make sure your head stays over your toes. Kind of like not letting it get too far out in front or not be too far behind. You want to keep it nice and balanced. That way the ball's not throwing you around. You're in control of the ball, if that makes sense. All right, push step time, push step time. 1, 2, 3, push step. I don't know if that. Huh? Woo. Ice myself. I'm gonna really give him the heater just so you guys can see what the pushing looks like. I'm on the back on the first set of dots. It's the 4th step for me. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, push. Not really worried about the shot. Just trying to show you guys how I create speed. Does that make sense? All in the push step. And really, it's also about making sure it's all timed up. Because if I push and the ball's still back here, it doesn't go anywhere. You lose all that momentum you just created with your push step. Or if it's in front, same thing. So another big thing with getting to the next level, right, is targeting. But targeting starts with sliding in the same spot. So next time you go bowling, every time you throw a shot, I want you to be able to, well, I say this, I don't do it all the time, but you want to be able to post your shot and kind of get an idea where you slide. Like, this is the biggest thing. Like, in bowling, we say control the controllables. You're bowling on an invisible chessboard, right? So you're trying to gather as much information as possible. Well, if you slide in the same spot every time, it's really easy to gather information. But if you slide a little left, and then it hooks, or then it goes light, 2 pins, and then you move back right, and you slide a little right, and at big 4s, how good is that information? So a lot of it is making sure you're sliding in the same spot. And then the targeting system itself, I'm a big arrows breakpoint guy. So I'm looking at a target the arrow. So let's say I'm sliding 28. I'm probably looking at around 16 to 8 down lane. And that's around the tracer. So if you don't have the tracer, you can go 40 feet. The first set of tracers, 34 to 37. The next set's 40 to 43. Just to give you an idea of distance-wise. So I'm always targeting around 43 feet as my break point. Unless it's a shorter pattern, then maybe I'll bring it back to me, or if it's longer, you know, I'll bring it a little closer to the head pin. But that is my general rule of targeting. All right, guys, that was a quick little tips and tricks video. If you guys have any other questions, you want anything else to explain, we'll do another video. Comment down below anything you've got. This is kind of just a video, real basic, real broad. If you want to get into the details, let us know down below. Like and subscribe. Barnzy out.